Hello and welcome back to the Glorious Gnomes. Now, a fair question has been asked. Why don't we get alliances with our neighbours? Why haven't I tried? Well, it's my usual mindset and I just want to walk you through it before saying why I believe that actually that might be a good idea. So my usual mindset is that, one, I don't like working with the AI. The AI generally tends to be inconsistent and unpredictable, which can lead to problems. For instance, if I was to attack Cloakwood, and say I was allied with, I don't know, let's say it was Baldur's Gate before they got destroyed, right? Let's say I was with Baldur's Gate, and we were going to attack Cloakwood. Well, I walk in there, destroy the troops, and then I'm sitting at Cloakwood going, well, I need you for the siege. So I sit here. And then Baldur's Gate goes, nah, I'm going to sit here with my troops. Or they go, I'm going to go and join a different war. Or they get a revolt and they're like, I'm going to go deal with that. You're just sitting there and it's just slowly eroding time. And then someone else attacks you. And then Baldur's Gate's not going to join because you've just called them into this one. So now you've got a weakened army against the next person who's attacking. So that's one situation I want to avoid. But, you know, that's inconsistent. So there are other situations where, say, I go to Cloakwood, beat up the army, and then Baldur's Gate just walks over, problem solved, easy, everything's solved, everything's good, we've moved on. The second situation, though, is one which is a little bit better for us, and a little bit less about the AI not doing what you want, which is, what if the realm that's next to us falls apart? For instance, if well, let's say it wasn't the revolt that was bordering us, let's say that these were flipped, and this was still around here, and they were really losing to the revolt, like they had 500 troops left. Well, now what we could do is we could go in here and go, well, I'm just going to declare an and take advantage of it. If we were allied with them, we would be in that war, and we'd be called into a war we didn't want. So I prefer to kind of vulture onto people rather than try and prop up these other nations around me. Having said all that, I do think an alliance with Coromere would be fantastic for us. Why? Well, one, they hold land that we simply do not want. All of this land is outside of our goals. Our goals, essentially, involve the Sword Coast, or Baldur's Gate Kingdom, followed by the Sword Coast Empire. We have absolutely no ambition on the Western Heartlands, followed on top of that by having even less ambition on the Fallen Stars Empire here. So we have zero interest in going that direction. So Coromere don't hold land that we want. They are also incredibly strong. They have 7,000 troops and they border us. So they could easily decide at some point, I'm having some of that. I mean, the best case scenario, they declare a border dispute and take our province here, right? Best case. Worst case, they decide that they're going to make us their tributary, and then we have to pay them money, or even worse, join their wars, which is completely pointless. And if we had an alliance, we could do it and get paid, essentially. Like, if they make us a tributary, we pay them, and then we join their wars. If we make them an ally, they just join our wars. It's easy. So, yeah. An alliance with Coromere would be fantastic. Now, next question. Do we have anybody we can make an alliance with? I believe we can use our granddaughters and grandsons. We have a 34-year-old granddaughter. Nobody is going to want to marry her. We should probably marry her off matrilineally if possible, but try and find somebody for her quickly. Like, what's his name? Is his name Cloudbirth? What a name. Okay. My grandson is married. Okay. To Tala Ogresbane. Again, fantastic name. Okay, so none of them can work. My granddaughter here is 39. She should have been married off ages ago, but she wasn't. She's going to marry that one. Okay, we need to make a good note of that and actually marry off our granddaughters, because apparently they don't go and find people to marry. And then we have no grandsons here. Okay, so there was nobody we could make a proper alliance with. I was looking for somebody I could marry into, like, a princess here. See, if we had a younger grandchild, that could be a perfect marriage. Same thing here. Well, they would have been much younger. Or same thing with this one. However, we don't have any of that. So we have nobody we can currently make an alliance with. And the only alliance we currently have is with this swamp. Oh, wait, we have a potential alliance here? Why? Who is married? So, Gradjin and Canna. So, because Gradjin is married to Canna. Alright, we have Leth. Leth is over here. Alright, he has 600 men and 9 boats. So, technically, he can get his men on boats. So, that is possible. So, we could create an alliance here. What's it? He's in a commonwealth. Oh. All 3 people can vote in practice. Oh, sorry. All people can vote in principle. In practice, this power is often wielded for them by professional politicians. Okay. Interesting. So we could try and form an alliance here, and he would say yes, because he likes us. It's not a great alliance, and I'm not sure if it holds any benefit for us, but we'll make it. We'll make it. Why not? Just to have an extra potential thing. I think the AI does take into account alliances when attacking you, so that is interesting. Also, we should probably try and get rid of our granddaughter-in-law here. Because, essentially, we're never going to get a child out of that marriage. So we should try and kill her and then get somebody who we can get a child out of that with. Oh, that's a new trait. Bisexual. Oh, okay. Interesting. So, what's our chances of killing her? Not very high. I mean, they are a half-dragon, which is always, you know, going to be difficult. Let's see if anybody wants to join it. So, we could get 15%, 25%, 35%. That says -8. That actually does say -8. I've never seen a plot power that says negative. Alright, so we can get 35% on top of here. I was almost tempted to take it just to figure out what -8 means. You know what it probably means? I'm thinking about it here. Maybe it means that somehow their plot power is so high that it's gone over the top? No, that doesn't seem right. That's what I'm thinking. But maybe it also just means that somewhere they've messed up something and it's gone low. Or maybe it's deliberate that dragons can't join plots. I don't know. I'm going to just cancel this plot. I don't think it's going to succeed. Ah, yes, you're still in our prison. That's fine. So I don't believe that we can get any new grandchildren that way. Yeah, we're really lacking a lot of great-grandchildren as well. I am noticing that. We don't have a lot of... yeah. We don't have a lot of generations below the current generation. That's going to be a major problem. However, gnomes, as we know, live for a long time, so there's still chances. I mean, when did she have her child with us? It was when she was 60? So, yeah, we got plenty of time there. I mean, who are you married to? You're married to a gnome who is 29, so there's still a chance there. Oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't have just been so flippantly marrying people off. I did just send off a betrothal for this person, didn't I? I think I did. Anyway, we'll leave it a second or two. Alright, we have an alliance. Cloudbirth Dusttooth is marrying my granddaughter. I suppose he was still the best option. He is pretty, which is a good one. Gives extra fertility as a trait. Oh, he's also a centaur. Oh! Well, we'll see how that works. Hybrid creatures with upper bodies of a muscular human atop the entire bodies of a horse. A centaur and a gnome. An image I didn't know I was going to have in my head today. Right. Am lost the war against the blights, against the Balspawn. Okay, cool. We have a disease in our realm. Where is it? Oh, it's not quite in our realm. It's just on the next door one up here. Now, they are also in a war, which I believe, when things are being sieged down, increases the chance of disease. But, yeah, we'll shut the gates. We'll be careful. I was going to attack Cloakwood, but I guess we'll hold off a second or two. Domen Perdak feels I risk too much with my escapades and tried to persuade me to stop risking my life. Oh, well, we're not going to do that. That's fine. We'll keep doing what we're doing. Galena is now known as the Careless. Okay, interesting nickname. Our granddaughter, Queen Mirashade, has been born. Cool. What is the disease anyway? Consumption, so -2 health. Okay, fair enough. It doesn't seem to be coming our way, looking at it, but it did spread to this one, so it is spreading outside Baldur's Gate. Unaware of others hearing them, Rundar Mirashade and Isosis Herald Scale have been sneaking around the premises to have intimate encounters. Few seem amused by their indiscretion. That'll definitely be not his wife then. Well, I don't know what we can do about that. However, it does give us a chance of more grandchildren. We can say, this ends now. And they break up, and then they both hate me. Oh well, that's my only option, so I guess we'll choose it. My acquaintance died, but I think it was somebody in Am. I think a revolt has ended in Am as well. Oh, Conquest of Cape Velen has ended. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Somebody was trying to vulture onto Am. Okay. I'm just waiting for this disease to go away and we'll be able to move on. Your son Grazian comes to your study one evening, appears quite agitated, pacing the room back and forth for a full minute before speaking. Father, I beg of you, please let me leave the keep. No. Grazian was absent from supper, so you decide to visit his chambers to make sure he's well. You knock a few times, and when nothing happens, you open the door. The room is empty, but Grazian has left a note behind. Apparently he has disobeyed you and snuck out of the keep. Why won't that starved weakling ever listen? You walk past Grazian's room when you hear a familiar laugh. He has returned without visiting you. Angrily, you knock on the door and the laughter stops, but the door remains shut. You pull it open, only to see a half-naked Grazian hurriedly getting dressed alongside a strange woman. What is the meaning of this? So then say, what were you thinking? Get this filthy wretch out of my keep? I trusted you to be careful. Both of you must leave at once, or I saw nothing. Well, you know, we're an angry gnome. What were you thinking? Get this filthy wretch out of my keep. We're going to become rivals with our son, and she will be chucked out of the keep. Not the most tactically sound decision, but I think it fits our character. A rumor about a spy sneaking around in my own castle was confirmed this morning when I caught him red-handed. Well, we have an MO for this one. His eyes will be carved. Do you reckon this disease is ever going to go away? Maybe. Firewine has formed an alliance with Count Murgy of Peldvale. Well, hopefully they're not plotting against me. I do have enough money that that's not really an issue right now. Oh, is it disease? Oh, it's still there. I was just zoomed out one more. Raiders have arrived. Okay, raise our troops. Merge. We'll send these ones round the top. Not that we really need them. Yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, okay, you can go and... We'll meet you at Durlag's tower. There we go. Attack in. We only have one leader because we are currently in seclusion, but that should be alright because they only have one flank. This was less alright than I thought it would be. We did beat them, but Alphez was cornered and killed. Alright, not really what I was expecting to happen there. We did manage to beat the raiders, which should mean they disappear. However, the number of troops we are able to raise now has been dropped by about 700, which is fairly bad. I believe once you defeat raiders, they might not be able to attack you again for some time, which is why I disbanded. That might be incorrect information, though. We could also use some of our incredible funds to actually upgrade our keep here, so let's do it. Now, there was a suggestion with this Heavy Cav 25. Yes, right now, Heavy Cav 25 is obviously stupidly bad for -1 tax income. Like, it's incredibly bad. It's about the worst deal you could get. And you have to pay 700 for it. But, as you get later, if we had a couple of these keep upgrades, it would start to look a lot more attractive as an option. It'll be like, no, instead of getting 25, you're actually going to get like 100 Heavy Cav. 100 Heavy Cav is a much bigger deal, especially if you don't care about money at that point in the game. You could get something good happening. So, that is a good thought. I mean, look at the stables. Stables only give you 35 Light Cav. So, in comparison, they're giving you similar numbers. This one just costs more. So you could potentially, if you were at the point of not caring about money, just buy it. But it's definitely not an early game thing. I also don't know what the next upgrade is. Maybe the next upgrade is incredible. Do we want levy size 10%? So that would give us 19 troops of light infantry. It would give us 1.5 pikemen, 6 archers, and 18 heavy infantry. And then 1.5 light cav. I guess that means we're getting 1 horse and 1 centaur. But here, we could also get just 40 light infantry and 15 pikemen. This seems like a much better deal, because it's actually not 40 and 15. We're actually getting 40 times by 110, so you're getting like 90-ish. Plus, yeah, again another 110, so you're getting like 35, something like that. So it's reasonable numbers. Your steward has collected a special tithe in the Coast Way. Nice, free money. That's what I like to see. So I don't believe that these guys can siege us. I could be wrong though. Let's see. Now they're sitting on Durlag's tower, so I don't believe that they are allowed to actually raid us. Oh, those are Durlag's Towerin raiders. Okay, so those are actually raiders from Durlag's tower. So these ones aren't event spawned, I assume. I assume those are actually those troops. Oh no, there we go. You can see it there. 1,429 event spawns. So, what this does, from what I can tell, is it spawns raiders on you, but it then attaches them to a province. So it says like, these event spawned raiders belong to Durlag's tower. Interesting. So we could go and wipe them out and good things would happen. Oh, we can't do that any longer because we're no longer hostile, but we could have gone and attacked them and made sure that they were gone, but we didn't do that. Work has become boring and the hours of the day drag on. Tell me about it. Diligence is a virtue, but it's exhausting. Yep, -1 to all of our stats. Goodbye, good stats. Now we are but an average character. One thing that's interesting actually is we have really high learning. Is there not a society I can join with learning? No. No, there isn't. Interesting. We just don't have one. That's fine. We'll hold off then. I was thinking usually there's a society you can join with learning, but maybe you have to not be a gnome for that one in this mod. This guy's gone and made himself his own little province. Yeah, there have been people asking about this side of the map as well, and what kind of things are fleshed out in the mod. And I don't personally know because I don't know the base material that well. However, what I will say is that the default scenario in the game where it says, here are the big players around the map that you might want to know about. Like, the one it first of all suggests is right here, I believe. So, that tells me that at very least, this bit should be fleshed out a little bit. There should be, like, a lot of detail in this area of the map. So, I don't know. There's potentially a lot there. I mean, I'd assume the ones that are just called Western Shu provinces probably aren't as fleshed out. I don't know. We'll see. Also, let me just check something. Oh yeah, we do have the Yan Empire as well as our not China, which is interesting. There's not really a lot going on with them. They appear to just be a reskin China right now, but I imagine at some point there will be. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'd have to be closer to interact with them to see if there's anything new. Your steward, Domen Perdak, wants to talk about the old tunnels under the castle. The argument is that they should be maintained better now that times are rough. You never know when you'll have to get out, and quickly. You would say, what a splendid idea, Perdak, or I see what you're doing and won't tell you anything. We're not paranoid, what a splendid idea. My liege, Domen Perdak catches up with you as you're strolling down the main hall. He looks concerned, and you order him to spit it out, whatever the news is. The tunnels, my lord, he breathes, and continues to tell you that somebody has been using them. The guards have stumbled upon tools and torches, recently used by the looks of it. You can say it's a great opportunity for an ambush, or this is a disaster. Seal the tunnels. You know what? We are brave, aren't we? No, we're not brave right now. Oh no, we are brave. Let's have an ambush. We're not going to lose brave and stop anyone from sneaking in. You order the guards. You order more guards to the tunnels, hoping to catch anyone sneaking in or out. The guards have captured someone in the tunnels. However, the person does not seem to be completely stable. The guards' faces are not showing the usual bloodthirst when they present. Zanadisa, the recluse, a starved-looking and oddly jumpy person. So we can execute her, throw her in a dungeon, or hear what she has to say. You know what? We are an angry person. To the dungeon she goes. You wake in the middle of the night to a loud clamoring down the corridor. Outside your room, the shadows of pitchforks paint the walls, and you hear screaming. You close the door behind you. How did the peasants get in? The tunnels should be secure. My Doman Perdak had them inspected. Guards, to arms! You grab your weapon and run out into the darkness to face the peasants. As the peasant rebels screamed the name of their leader, Zandisa the Recluse, you furiously charged them, hacking them down one by one. They made it into the castle, but this is where you drew the line. Together with your well-trained guards, the rebels had little chance of succeeding. In the wake of the victory, you contemplate the harshness of it all. This doesn't feel like victory. Oh, interesting! Usually this event just ends up with you being dead. And I've forgotten the exact path through. I know if you just seal the tunnels, immediately she cannot come into your into where you are, and you just end the event chain, which is what I usually go for. So I thought I'd try something a little bit different. So what this has done instead, it must be like a check on your marshal or something in the background, or maybe it's just random chance and I just got unlucky. This gives you the rebels are slaughtered, which gives you cynical. So that's +2 intrigue, however, minus to some other stats. Up here intrigue at up here intrigue at negative. Oh right, no, we're 4. We're negative. We'd be at 1 intrigue. Okay, we gain 1 marshal, which is nice. And then we get national revolt risk -4% and general opinion +5% for 2 years. That's not bad. Okay, and now we've had people try and attack us here. I could just execute her. That is an option. But you know what? We're gonna keep her in prison. Yeah, I think she's gonna stay there. I don't think we need to let her go just yet. Need a new commander of the Sword Coast. It could be my son Murgy, but we don't really have he's not really very good at it. Let's find somebody who's better. Will join our court, yes. Has High Marshal. So we will have this dwarf join us. Invite him to court. And you know what? While we're at it, we'll also have this guy join us. Is he a dwarf as well? He is also a dwarf. Dwarfs appear to be good at fighting things. It's a good thing to know. We have 1 dwarf, we have 2 dwarf. Right. So Aaron can go in there, and then we'll replace our 5 here with another one. Fantastic. So we have some very good commanders. Has the disease left? Yes, the disease has now left here. There is no disease. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the gates. And then, I'm going to attack Cloakwood. I think we're secure to attack Cloakwood. They have 1.9 troops, so they're going to have 3.9 by the end of it. As in, by the time everything's raised. They have a 5,000 garrison, which we can afford to buy up mercenaries to attack. We, at base, have 3,000 troops. I think we'll be good. Yeah. Let's declare our war. It's a little bit of a revenge war too. Am I going to call in my allies? Of course. I'm going to call in the this dragon to our cause. Even if her daughter is, you know, trying to kill us. Or kill people related to us and all that sort of stuff. We'll also call in Count Armel as well. This great monster extermination. Raise all of our troops. We're going to go to Peld Vale. Do we know that they're going to get more troops eventually? Does seem a bit weird to call in a dragon to a monster extermination. I'll admit. Right. Oh, they're already here. That was quick. Never mind. I was bad-mouthing them, saying no, they'll never get over here. No, they're here. They're ready. I mean, they got immediately attacked, but that's not really anything they can do about that. Oh, you have 0 troops. I'm really glad I called you in. Let's try and join this battle. Fantastic, we won. Okay. So, first things first, let's get some mercenaries. So sort by cost, we want to go cheaper. We want to get ones that are full value, so ones that still have 1,000 troops left. Wow, there's so many that are already hired. Like this one, that's a full value. Anyone else? Oh, right, these are full value. So 3,000 should be enough. We'll move them in. There's an infidel in your court, my liege, my court chaplain, Miranda Galena, said. I demand you banish the infidel. So the infidel is Tyax. Well, I already know he's kind of a little bit evil. But you know what? I'm not going to banish her. Or banish him. No matter what you say. Or maybe I do. Some people are going to be very unhappy if I don't. You know what? I'm going to banish him. Tyax, you're banished. If you didn't want to be banished, you shouldn't have been evil. Essentially. We need a new spy master. A new spy master is going to be Zaldri or Baragost. And he's going to scheme, trying to find plots in our court of people trying to kill people. I write to you with bad news from the coastway. You have, instead of squeezing extra taxes out of them, you have increased the revolt risk. That's okay, we have a negative to revolt risk right now. Right, we're going to merge these armies. Now, we are taking 7.5% attrition. So this isn't a permanent solution. Do we have anybody who has Siege Leader as a trait? No. Okay. So what I think we do is we siege it for a little bit. And then we might want to assault it down once it's a little bit lower on morale. Can I still assault? I can still assault. Okay, cool. Let's try it. We got it. Perfect. So we lost a ton of troops in the assault, but positive is not a lot of them were ours. And we're going to offer peace and enforce demands. We've taken the county of Cloakwood from the monsters. Fantastic news. Now, this is a Cloakwood tribe, which we're not allowed to hold. I could build a castle here as well, which I might do, even though we don't need it for nomadic agitation or anything like that. And then we're going to grant this to... We were going to grant it to our son. Our son is our rival, and we have kind of fallen out with him. But this was revenge for him. Could also grant it to our grandson. Here, I believe, was also imprisoned. And you know what? I might pass him over. I'm going to grant it to my grandson. I'm going to say, hey, grandson, I have got you the Cloakwood. Hold on to it well. Fantastic. He holds it. We're building a castle for him here. And now, that is another little bit of land. We have technological advancements in culture. Okay, so in culture here, the next level of legalism gets us nothing. Does any level of legalism get us anything? Allows us to change tax laws and become centralized. So centralized is this one, so we can become more of that. So you basically gain extra domain size that you're able to hold. So number of holdings. So by holdings, I mean this is one holding. And like, say we held the city here. That would be one holding, and then this would be one holding. So it's not number of provinces, it's number of holdings. So we could do that, although we did just give away one, so it's kind of the wrong time. But basically what that's saying is we would move further into it. So you lower your vassal limit down a lot in order to be able to hold more land yourself. Centralizing, essentially, which is the whole name of the thing. So we could do that, but I don't really think we need it. The other kind of options you have are opinion penalty for different cultures and races, which is interesting. We might be starting to get into that a little bit more now. Majesty gives you short reign down. Prestige and piety go up. Court size goes up. And court size cost goes down. So there's a new thing. Well, I say new. I think it was introduced in the last DLC, which is like a year ago. Where there's now a court size. So you're only allowed so many people in your court at once before you start having to pay things for it, or like a lot of things. So we are currently 14 under, but if we were to have 14 more people, we could potentially have to pay money. I believe it goes up each tier you are as well. So say we became a kingdom, we would then be allowed more in our court. So I don't think we really need to worry about that. So that's not a worry here. Religious customs are temple vassal opinion, city vassal opinion, is for city vassals, and then noble customs is for feudal vassals. He just gets your opinion. I still think I'm going to go with majesty, even though the court size stuff doesn't really affect us, because short reign is very useful to get rid of. Having your new ruler basically not have any negative to them right away is very useful. And because there's no head penalty, I'm just going to take that twice. A head penalty basically meaning we're not ahead on tech, so it's not going to charge us anything else. So effectively that's for if you're, like in the base game it would be to keep things the way history usually are. So you can't have massive standing armies on day one, because each tech for or military organization will cost more and more. You're not instantly able to siege down massive fortresses on day one, because each tech level will cost more and more. So that's kind of the idea. Anyway, what do we need for a kingdom? Just before we finish up here. In with Baldur's Gate, we need to be able to hold 2 duchy titles, which we currently don't have. But also, we would need to hold at least 51% of the de jure counties. So, we currently hold all the de jure counties down here. This is not de jure of this one. So de jure basically meaning it's not in there by default. So we have everything in this duchy. So if we check here, the petty kingdom of the Sword Coast, we hold every single province. There's nothing more we can get here. So if we were looking for the next one, we have 2 options essentially. We either can try and get something in the Duchy of the Fields of the Dead, which nobody controls, or in the League of Baldur's Gate. So if we go up to Baldur's Gate here, the de jure ones are those 2. So not really going to be able to get those unless we directly go to War of Baldur's Gate, which, in case you forgot, means directly going to War of the Nilthander Isles as well. Or how's that? Nilanther Isles as well. And then the other one is above, the Fields of the Dead. So the Fields of the Dead are basically everything that's highlighted here. Now we could get 3 more provinces here that aren't part of Baldur's Gate, potentially. Now, let me just check something with those 3 provinces. Would that give us enough to create the kingdom? So the kingdom has 11 in it. Okay, so we would have 7 out of 11, which is definitely more than half. And on top of that, in the duchy here, if we go and have a look at the Duchy of the Fields of the Dead, there are 5 provinces. To create that duchy, we would need at least 51%. So, if we took these 3 things here, that would then allow us to create that duchy, and then therefore create the kingdom, which would then, you get the idea, that would then allow us to, well, become King of Baldur's Gate, without holding Baldur's Gate, which is kind of interesting. Now, I am thinking we could potentially attack up through Rushwater, so take Rushwater first, which has 5,000 defenders, so that'd be equally as difficult as what we just did. Then head up into Arlon. Although I just realized, when I attacked this, did they get the other lot of troops? I don't remember if they got the other lot of troops or not, as in the random event one. So it might not happen every time, or maybe once you defeat it once, there's a timer or something. Anyway. So what are you? Oh, you're a tributary state of Baldur's Gate. Huh. So what's interesting about that is that although they would call in Baldur's Gate to their war, it doesn't cascade. So it's not like they call in Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate calls in their mate. You know, they can only call 1 level deep. So they can only call up to Baldur's Gate for help. So that means they'd only have 2,000 defenders. And that is something that we can beat. 2,000 plus 1,000. Now, I believe... Oh, we do have a reason to declare war, to extort a tribute. Yeah. That's not what we want. We want the land itself. So actually, I want you to leave what you're doing here and go and fabricate claims up on this one. It's not a high chance, but if that's a potential, that's a potential. The other option is that we attack Rushwater, take it, and then we can use border disputes to push our way up here. And all we have to do is take this one, because the other 2 are monsters. So once we start taking monsters and start getting that consistent, that should work out quite well for us. What's our max number of troops? 3,300. I think we've got a few more that we can get. But also what I want to do here is just get another building going, because we definitely need a few more troops hanging around. So let's get this one, heavy infantry and pikemen. Just upgrade the barracks that we just did. Perfect. Well, with that, I'm going to end the episode there. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.